I picked her up at a check cashing place in Asbury Park on a Tuesday afternoon. She was maybe 40. Scrubs, the kind nurses and aides wear with little cartoon cats on them. Tired around the eyes in the specific way of someone who works on their feet. She had a manila envelope in her hands, thick, and she held it the way you hold something you can't believe is real.
She got in. She gave me an address about half an hour away in a nicer part of the county. Then she said, "Actually, is it okay if I make a stop on the way? I'll pay for the wait. I just have to do one thing. It's important." I said, "Sure. Where to?" She gave me a second address first, a florist. We drove there. She ran in. She came out 2 minutes later with the biggest, most ridiculous bouquet I have ever seen come out of a florist. Sunflowers, roses, those big purple things, baby's breath exploding everywhere. It was the kind of bouquet you buy for a stage, not a person. It filled the whole back seat. She got in behind it, laughing, peeking around it. "Sorry," she said. "I know it's a lot. I've never bought flowers like this in my life. They cost... You don't even want to know what they cost. I don't care. Today, I don't care." I said, "Special occasion?" She was quiet for a second. Then she said, "I'm taking my mother to see a house." We pulled out, and over the next half hour, around the sunflowers, she told me the whole thing. Her mother had cleaned other people's houses for 31 years. Started when she came to this country with nothing and never stopped. She raised 3 kids on it. She did it on her knees, in other people's beautiful kitchens, in other people's beautiful bathrooms, scrubbing baseboards in houses she could never dream of living in. She did it without complaining, the woman said. Ever. Not once in 31 years. She used to take me with her sometimes when I was little, when she couldn't get a sitter, the woman said. I'd sit on the stairs with a coloring book while she cleaned, and I remember being in these gorgeous houses with the big windows and the nice furniture, and I remember my mother on her hands and knees, and I remember thinking, even as a little kid, I remember thinking, someday I'm going to buy my mother a house like this. Someday she's going to sit down in a beautiful house and somebody else is going to clean it. I said, and today's the day? She laughed and it cracked a little. Today's the day I get to show her one. I'm not buying it today. I'm not there yet. But I got approved. After all these years. I got the pre-approval. I've been saving forever. My brother's chipping in. And there's this little house. It's nothing fancy. It's a 2-bedroom. It needs work. But it's got a yard. And it's got big windows. And there's a spot in the kitchen where the afternoon light comes in. And I want my mother to stand in that light. I want her to stand in a beautiful house, knowing it's going to be hers. And nobody's going to make her clean it. She's going to live in it. I had to keep my eyes on the road. She said, the flowers are for the empty house. I want it to have flowers in it when she walks in. I want it to look like somebody already loves it. Is that crazy? I said, no, ma'am. That's not crazy at all. She said, my whole life she gave me everything and took nothing. You can't make a person like that accept a gift. She'll argue. She'll say, save your money. She'll say she's fine where she is. She'll say she doesn't need it. She took a breath. So I'm not going to ask her if she wants it. I'm just going to put her in the car and drive her to a beautiful house full of flowers and let her feel it before she can argue. And then it'll be too late. She'll already know what it feels like, and she won't be able to say no. We pulled up to her mother's place, a small apartment, ground floor in an older building, and there,
waiting on the step, dressed up, actually dressed up, a nice blouse, her hair done, was a small, sturdy, gray-haired woman who had spent 31 years on her knees in other people's houses. The daughter got out with the enormous bouquet. The mother stood up. She saw the flowers and her hand went to her mouth. I rolled the window down. I'm not proud of it. I wanted to hear. The mother said something in another language. The daughter answered in the same language. The mother said something else, faster, and I didn't need the translation, because every mother on earth says it the same way in every language. What did you do? What is this? This is too much. You shouldn't have. And the daughter said, in English, maybe so I'd understand, maybe just because it came out that way, "Mama, get in the car. I want to show you something. Just get in the car. You don't have to decide anything. Just come and see." The mother got in the car, next to the sunflowers, still protesting, still with her hand at her mouth. The daughter buckled her in like the mother was the child now. And we drove the last 10 minutes to a little 2-bedroom house with big windows and a spot in the kitchen where the afternoon light comes in. I parked. I told them to take all the time they needed. I watched them walk up to the house together. The daughter had the key from the realtor. She opened the door. They went in. I didn't see what happened inside. The afternoon light, the empty rooms, the ridiculous, beautiful flowers the daughter must have run in and set down somewhere. The mother standing in the kitchen, in the light, in a beautiful house that nobody was going to make her clean. I didn't see it, but I've imagined it about 100 times since. Here is what I think about now. When people imagine getting rich, really imagine it, the daydream version, I think most of us picture what we'd get. The car, the house, the vacation, the watch, the freedom. It's natural. It's not even wrong. But every now and then you meet somebody whose daydream isn't about themselves at all. You meet somebody who has been carrying, since they were a little kid coloring on a stranger's staircase, one single private dream. And the dream is to put somebody else in the light. To take the person who gave them everything and finally give something back that's big enough to matter. That nurse didn't want a beautiful house for herself. She wanted to watch her mother stand in one. That was the whole prize. That was the entire fortune she'd been working 31 years alongside her mother to win. I think that's the best kind of rich there is. I don't think it has much to do with money in the end, even though money's how she's going to do it. I think it's a kind of wealth you build up your whole life in secret, one shift at a time, and then you spend it all in one afternoon, on flowers and an empty house and your mother's face in the kitchen light. I hope she got the house. I think she will. I think anybody who wants something that badly for somebody else for that long, I think the universe ought to at least meet them halfway. I drove home and I called my own mother. I didn't have a reason. She picked up and said, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, Ma. I just wanted to say thank you." She said, "For what?" I said, "Everything. The whole thing. All of it." She was quiet for a second. Then she said, "You're a strange boy. But okay. You're welcome. I'll take it."